It started with a single message, a cold, heartless text that shattered my entire world in a matter of seconds. My hands were trembling when I read it. "I'm taking the kids and leaving you. Don't try to stop me." For a moment, I couldn't breathe. The walls around me seemed to close in, the room spinning as his words echoed in my mind. My husband of 12 years, the man I thought I knew better than anyone in this world, had decided to dismantle our lives in the most cowardly way possible through a text message. I'll never forget the piercing silence that followed. The kids were at school, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing in their lives. It took every ounce of strength I had not to break down right then and there. My hands clenched into fists as I stared at my phone, tears clouding my vision. How could he? How dare he? 1,000 questions raced through my mind, each more painful than the last. What kind of father would do this to his own children, and what kind of husband would abandon his wife without so much as a conversation? But the more I thought about it, the more pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. The late-night phone calls he would take outside, claiming they were work emergencies. The sudden, unexplained expenses on our joint account. The way he had been distant lately, avoiding eye contact and brushing off my attempts to connect. I had ignored the warning signs, convincing myself that it was just a rough patch, that we'd get through it like we always did. How naive I had been. I didn't respond to his message right away. Instead, I sat there, letting the anger and heartbreak wash over me in waves. But amidst the pain, something else started to rise, a fire I hadn't felt in years. He thought he could just walk away, take my children and leave me with nothing. He thought I would crumble and accept it. Oh, how wrong he was. I spent the next few hours in a haze, gathering my thoughts and formulating a plan. If he wanted to play dirty, I would play smarter. I wasn't going to let him destroy our family without a fight. But to do that, I needed to be strategic. Emotional outbursts wouldn't help me now. I had to be calculating, methodical, and, most importantly, one step ahead. First, I called my lawyer, a no-nonsense woman who had helped a friend of mine navigate her divorce. I explained the situation, my voice steady despite the storm raging inside me. She was calm, professional, and fiercely protective. "We need to act quickly," she said, and I could hear the determination in her voice. "If he's planning to take the kids, we need to ensure your rights are protected." Next, I started gathering evidence. Every suspicious transaction, every late-night call, every instance where his behavior had been out of the ordinary. I documented it all. I combed through bank statements, credit card bills, and even his social media accounts, looking for anything that could provide insight into his plans. And oh, did I find more than I bargained for. It turned out that my husband had been planning this for months. He had opened a separate bank account, funneling money out of our joint savings little by little. He had already rented an apartment in another city, complete with fully furnished bedrooms for the kids. And the most gut-wrenching discovery of all? He wasn't doing this alone. There was another woman, a colleague from work, someone he had introduced me to once as just a friend. The betrayal cut deeper than I thought possible, but it also steeled my resolve. If he thought I was going to roll over and let him get away with this, he had another thing coming. I knew I couldn't let on that I was aware of his plans. Any sign of resistance might make him act rashly, and I couldn't risk that, not with the kids involved. So, I played the part of the oblivious wife, responding to his message with a simple, "We need to talk. Please come home so we can discuss this face to face." He didn't reply. Typical. The next day, I received a call from the school. My husband had shown up during lunchtime, claiming there was a family emergency and attempting to take the kids out early. Fortunately, the school policy required both parents' consent for such a move, and they refused to release the children without my approval. When they called to confirm, I calmly informed them that there was no emergency and that the kids should remain at school. I could only imagine the look on his face when they told him no. That evening, I sat down with the children and explained as gently as I could what was happening. I didn't go into too much detail. There was no need to burden them with the intricacies of adult betrayal, but I assured them that no matter what, I would fight for them. They were scared, confused, and hurt, but I promised them that we would get through this together. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of legal battles, tense phone calls, and sleepless nights. My lawyer worked tirelessly, filing for an emergency custody order and freezing our joint accounts to prevent him from siphoning off any more money. Meanwhile, I continued to play the part of the unsuspecting wife, all the while building my case against him. And then came the twist, the moment that would change everything. While going through his financial records, I discovered something shocking, something that turned my heartbreak into a weapon of unimaginable power. But that's a story for the second half. Stay tuned because things are about to take an unexpected turn. After weeks of relentless effort, I had uncovered the full scale of my husband's betrayal. But just as I thought I had the upper hand, a discovery changed everything. Among the financial records, I found an offshore account linked to his name, a hidden stash holding a staggering amount of money. At first, I couldn't fathom where it had come from. Then the answer hit me. It wasn't just our joint savings he'd taken. He had also been embezzling funds from his company for years. The realization turned my heartbreak into a weapon. This wasn't just a custody battle anymore, it was a chance to expose him entirely. I presented the evidence to my lawyer, who recognized its game-changing potential. This wasn't just about protecting my children, it was about ensuring he faced the consequences of every deceitful choice he had made. Together, we set a careful plan in motion. While I maintained the facade of being unaware, we gathered everything needed to take him down. When the day of the court hearing came, I walked in with a mix of nerves and quiet determination. My lawyer unveiled our case, presenting evidence of his embezzlement, hidden accounts, and underhanded schemes. The look on his face was priceless, a blend of shock, fear, and utter defeat. He had come prepared to fight for custody, but now he had to defend himself against criminal charges. His bravado crumbled as his employer got involved, launching their own investigation. Within days, his life unraveled entirely. The court awarded me full custody of the children and secured our financial stability by freezing the remaining funds he had stolen. Meanwhile, his mistress disappeared the moment the truth surfaced, leaving him utterly alone. As for his grand plans to start a new life, they were nothing but a shattered dream. In the weeks that followed, I started rebuilding our lives. It was far from easy, but every step forward was a victory. My children and I found strength in one another, and the love that had been nearly torn apart grew stronger. My husband thought he could destroy me, but instead, he revealed just how resilient I truly am. His betrayal was devastating, but in the end, it set me free. And now, my kids and I are living proof that even in the face of unimaginable pain, you can rise, rebuild, and come out stronger.